Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Thai Adventures. In the previous episodes, my daughter Ivy and I embarked on a 10,000 mile journey from the UK to Thailand. Upon arrival, the heat and humidity completely knocked us for 6. I was then bedridden with a stomach bug and Ivy had to fend for herself. But after taking some activated charcoal, I was starting to feel much better and Ivy and I could finally venture into the tropical island of Koh Samui. In this episode, join us for an evening stroll along Lamai Beach, a trip to Koh Samui's main shopping mall, snorkelling at Crystal Bay, and our first journey in pursuit of one of the famed Thailand sunsets. This is my daughter Ivy, my name's David, but you can call me Ivy's dad. Come and join us on this adventure of a lifetime. So tell us what's happened in the last 24 hours.
But I thought we can't tell people.
What do you mean we can't tell
I
people?
thought we didn't want the family to know.
Well, but for the videos, I just didn't want them to worry while I was...
Alright. Basically my dad's not been very well, so I've been on my own most of yesterday and all day today. But we woke up late today, so it's not too bad. I only got out here at 12 o'clock and it's now 5 o'clock, so it's not too bad. But he's been better all day yesterday and most of the day, all day today and most of the day yesterday. But I'm fine. So he's up, he's like out now, it's like 5 o'clock and he's out now, and then we're just gonna go for a little, I'm in the pool for a bit, because it's at 6 o'clock, then we're gonna go for a little walk.
So Ivy, you've done some really good things to help me out. And also to make sure that you've had fun as well. I've had to allow you to do some things. So what have you been doing?
So I went to the restaurant. I actually went to like a restaurant, not the hotel one, like the one down there.
Over the road?
Over the road.
You went to a restaurant on your own?
On my own. I literally like on my own lonely.
What did you buy?
What did I buy? Oh, I got noodles, shrimp things, and chicken skewers, and strawberry Fanta.
It's a worst case scenario if a lone parent travelling with a child falls ill, and I was very aware that it could happen, hence I booked the Weekender Resort because of its facilities and its location in Lemai, but I never really expected it to happen. I've travelled to many places around the world and I've always been fine. I really do think the combination of stress and excitement building up to the holiday, the humidity, the jet lag, had all caught up with me, and the food was merely the trigger of an already loaded gun being pulled. But we had survived, and I wanted Ivy to gain life experiences with this holiday, and I was so proud with how well she adapted to the situation. And finally, I was feeling well enough to start tentatively taking steps out of my bed and around the island, but I still had to be aware that I'd been ill and I still was feeling fragile, hence an evening walk along Lemai Beach seemed like a great place to start the holiday. There's something to do with Thailand, and I guess it's to do with the heat. But when the sun sets, it's like the place comes to life. And I simply couldn't go back to the hotel with so much happening. So we decided to head out to Central Samui.
Hi guys, basically, as you know, I already told you that my dad's not been very well, but he's better now, like nearly 3 days apart, and we're out at Central Samui. But we were actually going to go to Chaweng Beach, but then we stopped off at Central Samui, so we're going to see what is in here today, because it was such a long ride and overall food and drink. So yeah.
There's a reason why places like Central Samui and Koh Samui Airport are vlogged about so much on YouTube, and it's because they are great examples of how you can use nature to create infrastructure. Ivy has picked a spicy meal in Thailand. Is it spicy, Ivy? You're doing amazing. You do so good, honey. What is it that you ordered?
I ordered spicy pork salad and rice.
Spicy pork salad and Japanese rice?
Yeah.
Well, what I find is that the price of one meal in England is the price of 2 meals here. And it's good meals.
I tried for one, not like a good meal.
Weather is a large factor, but the malls in Thailand seem to be a large part of the community. There are no gangs hanging around. Instead, it's families and friends and children, couples dating, heading to the mall to relax. And I think that maybe that's the difference. The malls are created to almost inspire first and create revenue second, or to use inspiration as a means of creating revenue. Whereas in the UK, malls are without doubt created to generate revenue first. Very rarely would I ever visit a mall in the UK and feel inspired or proud that the mall was a part of my community. This was my first visit to a Thai mall, and I could instantly see why they are a large part of Thai culture. They're amazing.
Oreo ice cream bowl. Oreo, get that.
I am not a person who would ever imagine that I would go to a mall for a night out, but Central Samui and the night market outside definitely brought some peace, and it was the right thing for us to do. We ate some ice cream. We then went to Lemai, and Ivy wanted to visit the mini Big C so that she could raid the shop again and get more stock for her YouTube videos. And she'd been asking me if we could go for a midnight swim, and the hotel swimming pool closed at 6 p.m, which was a little bit disappointing. But we said, let's go for a walk down to the sea, and it was the first time that she'd been able to go into the sea at night time. Ivy is going to go into the sea on Lemai Beach in Thailand at 10:30 at night. It's cold.
Not really.
It's definitely a bit chillier, but it's still... There you go. It's scary, one minute. I need to just empty my pockets and I'll come in as well.
I've got a short slugs on.
And so, feeling much better than I was just 24 hours earlier, we were able to relax in the hotel for the evening and get ready for the following day, which was our trip just down the road to Crystal Bay. But then we had to consider the bigger picture on whether we were going to go to the island of Koh Tao the day after. Type in Crystal Bay. Morning.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm looking for Indian food. Oh, look at that little place, isn't it lovely? As is often the case, Ivy and I would walk down Lemai Street and wait for a Songthaos to pass. But doing that at sort of like 8 or 9 in the morning, it was absolutely stifling, and just a few hundred yards down the road and we would be utterly exhausted. Thankfully, a Songthaews did turn up, and very soon we were off to Crystal Bay. On this journey, I met somebody that I didn't film, but he sat in the Songthaews with us. I had a really good chat with him, and he explained that he'd been there for about 4 months. A little tip of advice from him that he gave us was to, if you're looking at staying in Thailand for a longer period of time, book into a hotel for one night. If you like that hotel, then you can usually negotiate a good rate with them for a longer stay. I really wanted to catch up with Mick, but our schedule just didn't allow for it to happen, unfortunately. So Mick, if you ever do see this video, please do drop me a message, because I enjoyed our little chats, and I hope that you're doing well in Thailand. Where are we, Ive? Talk to me.
We're at Crystal Bay Beach.
We just met a nice man on the thing. I'll see if I can film them when they go by. Take care. Ah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Nice man, give us some advice. Good cocktail bars. Crystal Bay Beach Resort is this way. See, I've lost my bearings because I always think the beach is that way. It's this way. Now we've got to do a big cross. Are we ready to cross? Should we just go? Go, go, go. Ah, ah. Okay. Oh. Now this is meant to be one of the best beaches in Lemai. Good for snorkeling. Or snorkeling practice. Looks like it's quiet. Nice pool. How do we get down? After you, hon. Let's do the test, Ive. We're going to do a test. Is it?
It's warmer than the other one.
Warmer than the mine? Yeah. You can't be. Oh my gosh, it is, isn't it? Wow.
Oh, there's some fish in there.
There's some fish in here, is there? Yay! Finally, we might see some fish when we do our snorkeling. Ah. Now, can we go to a restaurant or a cafe? Get set up. Crystal Bay is undoubtedly a very beautiful beach, but when Ivy and I visited, it was just too hot for us, and the only place that we could sit was in the shade, and of course it was quite busy. There were a lot of people in the shaded areas. We then had to contend with the fact that when we were in the water, there were rocks, and these rocks are really hard to sort of navigate your way through when the water is only sort of knee deep. It's really hard. You're sort of not floating in the water, and we weren't the only ones. There were a lot of other people that were struggling with the rocks, and if you stand on the rocks, it really hurts your feet. These were sharp stones in the water, so it wasn't quite as we expected. And furthermore, there was a problem that I didn't foresee at all, and that was that Ivy was seemingly scared of the fish. Now, the fish that we could only see were minnows. They were like about an inch long, but Ivy was fearful that the fish were going to come and bite her feet. So, stiflingly hot, sharp rocks, hard to navigate into the deeper areas where you can actually swim, and Ivy is worried that the fish are going to bite her feet. And I'm still not feeling 100% great. It is extremely hard for me to move around in this heat. I am constantly out of breath. So a really good experience, but equally quite a challenging one. And if all that wasn't enough, it seemed that every single time we went under the water, our snorkels we were getting water into our mouths. And It later transpired that the snorkel equipment that we had bought was cheap rubbish, and it did in fact let in water every time you put it under water. And this was a shame because I lost patience a little bit with Ivy. Ivy was struggling, I was struggling. I always remember that I used to be able to do snorkeling fine when I was younger, and it was really frustrating me. What's going on? Why can't we do this? What are we doing wrong? It was nothing to do with Ivy or I, it was the fact that our equipment was just rubbish. Add on top of that the fish, the feet, the rocks, the heat of the water, the heat when you're sort of standing out of the water. It got to a stage where very quickly Ivy and I, we just decided maybe we should look for the pool that we'd walked past when we walked in. Perhaps we should see if we can go and sit in that pool and grab ourselves something to eat from the local restaurant, and that's exactly what we did. So here we are, Crystal Bay Resort. She's been very nice to us. This cost 200 baht. That is like a litre of freshly squeezed orange, a Fanta for Ivy, and we can sit in the pool with our phones.
This is deeper than the other pool. Down here. I'm getting myself. Oh no, they're there. I'm gonna have to go that back down.
This is for all the times you've been cheeky, all the times you've annoyed me, all the times you said, "Let's have that pool." Your dad spent about £5,000 to take you here, and the first thing you do is just say, "Wish I had that pool. Wish you had that pool. Wish I stayed in this place." You make me feel insecure. You make me feel as if I'm failing you. For that I must dunk you under the water. Serves you right. Oh, I don't know the taste of this water. Well, go in the sea then. Yeah. You get everything you want.
My hair came out.
All you do is complain.
My hair's like came out.
They should change it to Complain Bay, not Crystal Bay, Complain Bay, where people like Ivy can come and complain. So Crystal Bay is known by the locals as Silver Beach, and you have to walk through a resort to get to it. The resort is a 3-star complex, and as many reviews had said, it was a bit tired and there's not much to do in the area. As you saw, it's on a busy road that runs around Koh Samui. However, many of these resorts will happily let you use their facilities for a small fee, which is reimbursed if you purchase drinks or food. So Ivy and I had a litre of fresh orange juice and a can of Fanta, which Ivy always loves. It cost about £4, and we were able to use the pool for as long as we liked. And coming from the UK and just having a pool almost to ourselves, it's like the dream holiday. We had a lot of fun in this pool and then decided to go for a small walk to the local cafe on the beach, which looked really nice.
It's 2:29 and we're really hungry.
Unfortunately, I didn't film too much of this as it was just too hot to do much else other than walk. We decided to order some very safe food. We had a chicken fried rice, a burger and fries, and a pizza, which was all very nice. It wasn't mind-blowing, but it was good. And in a way, I think 3 stars is a little bit of a low rating for this place. Really, it's paradise. But we just weren't quite ready for paradise, if that makes sense. We needed a few home comforts. So we really enjoyed our time at Silver Beach or Crystal Bay. But we just weren't quite ready. We weren't quite prepared for the snorkeling as we had hoped we would be. After our lunch, we decided to head back to Lemai and to spend some time in the weekender pool. We'd bought a tie-dye sheet, which was actually really good for keeping nice and cool, but it had been leaving Ivy blue when she was wrapped up in it. So we decided to go back to the pool and practice our snorkeling in the pool. Remember that we're still deciding if we're going to go to Koh Tao the following day, and Koh Tao is like one of the best snorkeling places in the world. It is an island based around snorkeling and scuba diving. and our kit still isn't quite right, but we want to get in some practice. So this was a really nice time to play in the pool with our sheet, with our snorkeling gear, and just to enjoy ourselves, you know, do things that we would never normally do in England. It was a really valuable time to me as a dad, just to have this fun time with my daughter. Lemai Beach was starting to feel like our beach. We were very relaxed there. We started to know people. We'd only been there a few days, but it was really friendly. We decided to do some jet skiing again. So this is our second day of recording footage on the jet ski with a GoPro, but we've only got the small sort of floaty device, haven't we? So show me what you're going to do, Ive, when we do it. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to go behind me, you're going to be there, and then we're going to try and get like a wide shot.
Oh, right.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Jet skiing, as I said in the last video, was one of our highlights of the holiday, and being able to do 20 minutes jet skiing for about £20, it was just too good an opportunity to not make the most of it. So we went up and down Lamai Beach on the jet ski, and it's a moment when you can sort of stop out at sea and turn around and look at the scenery and just realise where you are. It's a really good place. Just 100 yards out at sea is a beautiful place to just take in the environment and look at you. And we are in a palm tree laden paradise with jungles and these lovely, kind, beautiful, happy people and watermelon drinks and ice and swimming pools, and we absolutely loved the whole experience of the jet skiing.
Guys, our fastest bit is 48 and we're going to try and beat our record.
Are you ready, Ive?
Yeah.
Hold on, 48 kilometres an hour. Here we go. Ivy's been working very hard to get onto here. Come on, Ive. Come on, Ive. Lemai Beach just started to become much more comfortable, and we took a walk down Lemai Beach, and Ivy wanted to get some inflatables for the swimming pool back at the hotel. So we had a bit of a laugh and we walked around Lemai Beach, we bought some inflatables, we bartered with the locals, and then after that we decided to speak to our local taxi driver Oz and ask him if he could take us to the best sunset in Koh Samui. So our wonderful cab drivers have just rushed to get us to a sunset point, and we have just come over the mountain, the hill, and we've said no rush, we understand, but we can see they're driving fast and they have just delivered this amazing sunset. Let's see if we can see it. Hold on, because it's worth it. The sun is right there. And we've never really seen a Thailand sunset, have we, Ivy? And friends have told me about it. They said you're gonna love the sunsets. Let's see what it's like. Can we see it from here?
No.
We've got about 15 minutes. Top and cab. Thank you. Cop and cab. Our cab driver has just got us to this amazing sunset. Cop and cab. Cop and cab.
So today our cab driver drove us here to the sunset, and we're going to go
Now this place turned out to be something special because the next time we tried to visit this place, our cab drivers simply didn't know where it was. So I felt truly blessed that our driver Oz had taken us to the Island View restaurant, where we experienced a breathtaking sunset and a meal that was beyond reasonable. It was just extremely cheap but amazingly good quality. It was everything that I hoped Thailand would be. Just the whole atmosphere at this restaurant instantly put this restaurant in my top 10 restaurants in the world ever. It was absolutely top quality at an extremely reasonable price, and with an atmosphere that was just effortlessly breathtaking. It really knocked me for 6. I did actually fall out with Ivy a little bit on this night. I said, Ivy, you've got to show a little bit more respect when we're in these kind of places. I felt that she was being a little bit naughty, but I guess that's what dads and daughters do. Ivy's nearly a teenage daughter and I'm a grumpy old dad, so I guess that's what we do. But we made up, we had a beautiful meal, a beautiful night. We went home and we decided the next day we are going to Koh Tao. Join us in episode 4 of Thai Adventures, where we get stuck without a ticket for the ferry from Koh Samui to Koh Tao. We then get caught in a storm. We go snorkelling in Shark Bay and we experience the island's nightlife. Please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel. You've been watching Ivy's Dad. Until next time, thanks.